Ananta.
Yes.
Uh, since being outside of the dream feels so much better, then why is there falling back in dream when the dream is so much less pleasant? There's so much turbulence and unhappiness there. So how come it keeps on going back to that instead of staying uh, permanently abiding in the freedom of that?
Well, there's the issue of ripeness. And so you want to ask, who is it who is getting involved with the dream? And what happens is, when you fall back into the dream, even if it's unpleasant, it's what you know. And there's a certain amount of comfort and safety in what you know. Psychologically, this is probably true. And, Wayne, who's a little bit rougher than I am, he would say, I guess you just haven't suffered enough. The dream has a lot of payoffs, even though it's very uncomfortable at times. It's also very pleasurable at times, and it's also very familiar. And also, there's aspects of the ego, you see, that are able to manipulate your attention. And if you find yourself lost with your attention fully absorbed in that sense of you as a person, you just want to watch how that happened. Find out how that happened. How did that happen? Okay? Once you know the magician's tricks, you're free. You see? The magician, the mind, the ego, is creating this illusion for you. This is all a product of your imagination, and you have been pretending for such a long time. And you don't, you be with this and actually open eyes, paying attention. Initially, it requires a certain earnestness, a certain sincerity that requires you to really be vigilant all of the time. Okay? Because otherwise the habit just takes over and you find yourself back where you started. So if that happens, you want to know how that happened. How did that happen? How did you get fooled again into believing that you're a person? So much so that you forgot that space of interconnect. How did that happen? So you want the answers to that, and then you see you can catch it. You can catch it, and hopefully, as time goes by, you catch it earlier and earlier, and then I call it remembering. So you always want to remember who you are, and when you forget, you want to remember again, and you just don't let it go on for any length of time. And I'm telling you, eventually, you forget it for such a short time that you barely notice it, you see. And then eventually you remember. And when you remember, you never forget, It's done then. But in the meantime, you have this last personal process. Okay? So this is, you understand, the illusion is going to fight really hard to keep you in play. The virtual reality machine has safeguards that will bring you back in to the virtual reality. So this is what's happening. So just be vigilant. Be really vigilant. Make this, you don't forget. And I used to put notes around the house so I wouldn't forget. I had certain rituals that brought me back to center regularly during the day, and so it was an actual process of remembering. So at first, that's how it started. It took a year of really strongly being vigilant about remembering. I promised never to forget, and it was a solemn promise, and that was my life, was remembering. That was all that mattered, and so the forgetting became less and less and less until it went away. No one forgot anymore. And then when no one forgets, no one has to remember. And it's done. It's done. No one's doing anything now. No one's remembering. No one's forgetting. Everything just is. And so it's just a centered place. So, but when you have your foot in both sides, you see you have one foot in each world, there's this wavering. But it doesn't have to go on very long. Just continue your process and just bring yourself back. You have this link. You already, like, it's strong with you. So just see if you can just be really vigilant and ruthless about it. Like, don't let yourself slide. And when you do, catch it early. That's all. But it takes that energy at first, because this is the end of your personal process. This is the last thing on it. Mm-hmm. And you can see that when you get involved with yourself as a person, there's a certain misery that comes with that. Especially compared to the universality of unconditional love. There's no comparison between that and thinking of yourself as a person. I mean, of course, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, one is miserable and one is completely peaceful. So just continue, but be vigilant. Did that answer it?
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.